So I've been wanting to make a video about the Denver Nuggets and what's going on in their current situation, and then they went and lost to the Washington Wizards. So what better time than right now to talk about the Nuggets? Now we all know Jamal Murray is playing poorly. So far, probably the worst year of his career outside of his rookie year, and we all know the Nuggets are not a viable contender if this is the Jamal Murray they get. Aaron Gordon also missed a significant amount of time, but even still, if my quick maths are correct, they are now 5-6 in games that Aaron Gordon plays this year, and we're including a game he played 4 minutes, the game he got hurt in against the Toronto Raptors. But all that being said, sorry for being long-winded there, I do believe we need to be pointing some eyes toward Mike Malone. I'm not here saying he's a bad coach. I'm not saying he should be fired, but for the second year in a row, the Denver Nuggets are currently last in three-pointers attempted per game. And it might be somewhat fair to point to the roster, but I think it's more so the coaching. We can all see the deficiencies in the roster, but you know who currently is fourth on the team in three-pointers attempted per game? It's hilarious, and I'm not trying to go at this guy, it's not his fault. But Russell Westbrook is currently fourth on the team in three-pointers attempted per game, only behind Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and Nikola Jokic. And funny enough, the Nuggets are fourth in percentage. And as I mentioned, we can all see it, they don't have a lot of shooting on this team, but let's start with the two guys that are actually their shooters, Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. I would ask, why aren't they getting more threes up? Especially considering the rest of the roster. You might be someone that says everybody doesn't have to just jack threes, it doesn't have to be everyone's offense, but if you're a team that's struggling to score, that doesn't have a lot of shooters, and you have a special one, why is he only getting up 6 a game? And we're in a different time now when 6 is not a lot. And he's playing 36 minutes a night, so in 36 minutes, he's only getting up 6 threes. Compare that to other guys per 36. CJ McCollum taking 9 threes per 36. Dante DiVincenzo, who's been terrible shooting the ball, still getting up 9 threes per 36. Grayson Allen, 9 threes per 36. Klay Thompson, 10 threes. Jason Tatum, 10 threes. Anthony Edwards, 10 threes. Tyler Hero, 10 threes. And we're talking about, I'm not just saying anybody go out there and shoot 10 threes. I'm saying Michael Porter Jr., legitimately one of the best shooters in the NBA, and you don't have shooting on your team, why not spam that weapon? And even though he's not shooting the ball well, the same thing applies with Jamal Murray, and maybe that will open up the game for your other players that do other things. But as I mentioned earlier, they're one of the best teams in terms of percentage from 3. So again, Julian Strawther shooting 38% from 3. Why isn't he getting up more? Christian Braun shooting 43% from 3. Why isn't he getting up more? Peyton Watson shooting 37% from 3. Why isn't he getting up more? To me, that all points to coaching. And no, I don't think this roster is good, besides the fact they have the best player in the world. But there are some obvious answers to some of their problems. Just get more threes up, especially when you have 2 real weapons. I'm still going to consider Jamal Murray a weapon. When you have Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, there's no way those guys can't find a way to get 2 more threes up each a game. So I am being a little bit facetious with the, oh, Peyton Watson, Christian Braun, just shoot a bunch of threes. No, I don't think that's the answer, but specifically Michael Porter Jr., I see no reason he shouldn't be taking at least 8 threes a game. We're in a different world now. It's a different NBA. I'm not the guy that just says, oh, you got to shoot more threes. That's always the answer. But when you have a guy that is legitimately one of the best shooters in the NBA, maybe gonna retire one of the best of all time, I'm gonna need him to be taking more threes a game than Dennis Schroeder. That's all I'm saying. And I seen this on Twitter last night. I don't remember who posted it, but I seen it get retweeted a bunch. The Nuggets have been outscored by 81 points the last 2 games on 3-pointers alone. And they only attempted 24 in each of those games. Now, they didn't have Jamal Murray in either of them. Obviously, that hurts. But just thinking about it, even if they make a deal, who are they bringing in that can maybe change this dynamic? Who's the elite shooter that's going to change this dynamic? Because if you guys didn't hear me earlier, they were last in the NBA in threes taken last year. And KCP was on the team, right? KCP, vaunted shooter, right? Sorry to use per 36 again, I just feel like it's the easiest thing for people to understand. His 2 years with the Nuggets were his lowest 3-pointers attempted per 36 since his rookie year. Actually, quick correction, he had one other year in Detroit where he only shot 4.8 per 36. So since leaving Detroit, his 2 lowest 3-pointers attempted per 36 have been with Denver. Now, to be fair, he had 1 year in LA where it was only point 0.1 higher, but that was also the year they won the championship, and they also had a better version of KCP and Danny Green, who was getting a lot of those shots. So those guys really shared those shots. In a situation like Denver, you probably would have assumed he got up more threes than he actually did. So even KCP was not like getting up a ton of threes with the Nuggets because it's not what they do. Now you can ask, is that a Michael Malone problem or a Jokic offense problem, which I don't think anyone wants to entertain that conversation, and I'm not going to entertain it either yet. Ironically, the last Nuggets team to get up a ton of threes was the 21-22 season. I believe that was the first Jokic MVP year, the year Jamal Murray was hurt. But when you look at it, they had Michael Porter Jr., obviously, and then they had Will Barton, and they had Bones Highland, two guys that would go out there and create threes for themselves. And to me, that is what this team is missing. That wild card player that can come in the game and absolutely wreck it and change things in a different way than Westbrook, right? Westbrook has been amazing. I have no qualms about Westbrook, and I think this particular player I'm talking about might be able to coexist with Westbrook, but a guy that doesn't need to depend on Jokic to set up their every action, but they have no real way to acquire that player. I'm thinking someone like a Malik Monk or a Bogey Bogdanovic. And I was about to say Jordan Clarkson because that would be the easiest, most cheap. His team's willing to move on. And then I went and looked at his numbers. What is going on with Jordan Clarkson? I've always known he's not a good shooter, but I did not know he was below 30% last year and is currently below 30% this year. So probably not Jordan Clarkson. But that mode of a player, a wild card that can go get his own bucket, that was kind of what Reggie Jackson was supposed to be. Didn't really pan out, but that would help this offense a ton. They're stale, they're predictable, everyone knows their actions. Jokic is just unstoppable, so they can never be too bad, but they look bad. And also, to give them a little bit of credit, they tried to address a backup five that can shoot, but Dario Saric has been terrible. You know a name that may help, and he's a veteran player that would probably come in and fit pretty seamlessly? In Miami, Alec Burks is just chilling. He's just chilling, and he really should probably be getting Terry Rozier's minutes, but Alec Burks might be the move. That's a very small move, but I do think that liveliness to the offense could do a lot for everybody else involved. A career 38% three-point shooter can shoot off the catch or off the dribble. Somehow is still only 33 years old. It seems like he would be a little bit older by now. But Alec Burks, I'm just perplexed why he's not playing in Miami, especially when Terry Rozier has been so bad. But they don't really have the salary or the assets to go get a Malik Monk or a Bogey Bogdanovic. So Alec Burks is a pretty damn good way to settle. It sounds crazy to say, oh, just get Alec Burks and their season's gonna change. But he does do exactly what they need. They have no one to get their own shot off the dribble besides Jamal Murray, and he's not doing that at all. Obviously, Westbrook can get to the rim, but they need someone that creates shots off the dribble. When I started making this video, there is no way I thought I was going to conclude the Nuggets should go out there and get Alec Burks, and that could change things, but I really think it could. Any other bigger move would have to include Michael Porter Jr., and I'm not doing that if I'm the Nuggets, so it's going to have to be a small move if a move happens at all. But just looking at this current roster, there's not enough shot creation on the team. And I know they won a championship like this, pretty much the same roster, but I just wouldn't put my eggs in the basket of Jamal Murray's gonna perform like a top 10 player in the playoffs again. I just wouldn't be relying on that. I'm obviously hoping for it, but that's not something I'm counting on. You need more offensive help. You need more shot creation. So my big solution to the Nuggets problem is go get Alec Burks. I guess that's my solution. It actually looks kind of bleak for this team if this is the version of Jamal Murray we get. Maybe you actually get desperate enough where you want to swing for the fences, where you do include someone like a Michael Porter Jr. But Nikola Jokic is 29 years old, still fairly young. But if I was running the Nuggets, I'm absolutely trying to maximize this next 2 to 3 years before we start seeing a potential decline in Nikola Jokic. We're having one of the best runs we've ever seen a player have, and this is the roster you're giving them, which I think is just not good enough. But as I'm saying, they are so limited in potential moves. Now, Zeke Naji, Dario Saric together makes up about $14 million. If you do that, you have no backup center. And what player are you getting that makes around $14 million that's really going to make an impact? I don't know what that move would be. Thankfully, it is not my job to figure it out. But one way you can help maybe mitigate this a little bit is getting Jamal Murray and specifically Michael Porter Jr. more threes within your offense. But it does look bleak for this team. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you worried about the Nuggets? I'm not too worried because they have Jokic. Just get in the playoffs and Jokic can win any series damn near by himself. But I am a little bit concerned. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.